welcome back to Food Prep Guide. I have a new canning recipe that I want to share with you. It is quickly becoming my favorite way to put up strawberries. This is the first year that our homegrown strawberries are putting out enough strawberries to really be able to preserve. We've just really enjoyed fresh eating in the past. So this strawberry sauce it's not a jam, it's not a syrup, but we'll talk more about that in just a minute. If you canned the pineapple zucchini with us last summer or earlier this summer, this recipe is going to come together even faster because we're going to use a little bit of a shortcut. But don't worry if you don't, I will show you how to do it with just regular ingredients from the grocery store. Okay, let's get started. In case you haven't heard, we have a Meals in Jars canning cookbook coming soon, and in the description box of this video you will find a link to the landing page for that. You can sign up on the wait list to be notified of its release, and when you do, you'll be automatically entered into our giveaway where we will choose one winner to win a free copy of the cookbook. If you're watching this video at a later date, it's possible the cookbook is already available. If that's the case, you'll be able to access that book in the same link in that same description box. If you're new here, we invite you to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming tutorials on canning, cooking, food storage, and gardening. We'll start by measuring our strawberries. The beauty of this recipe is that you don't have to have a certain weight, and I'll explain that in just a second. But this batch of strawberries is just over 3 pounds, and I'm having anywhere between 3 to 6 pounds coming in about every 1 to 2 weeks. And this is why this is quickly becoming one of my favorite recipes, because I don't have to wait until I have enough to make a batch of jam or any other kind of recipe and risk the strawberries going bad. So here is the kind of ratio that we're working with. And you'll see, as you can see on screen, step one is just get them all crushed up. But the ratios that we're working with is 5 pounds of strawberries needs 1 cup of sugar, 1 cup of pineapple juice, and a splash of lemon juice. When I say a splash, we'll say like 1 to 2 tablespoons. And so you can kind of deviate from that depending on how many pounds of strawberries you have. So I have just over 3 pounds of strawberries here. So I'm going to do a heaping 1/2 cup of sugar and like a 1/2 to 3/4 cup of pineapple juice. Another thing that's beautiful about this recipe is it is acidic enough that it's okay if our pineapple juice measurement is off by a couple tablespoons. It's okay if, you know, our strawberry ratio to juice ratio is off a little bit, because everything in this recipe is acidic. And you know, there's a lot of wiggle room here. If you've been canning for any length of time, you know that with most canning recipes, we don't have a lot of wiggle room to be able to stay within a safe window. But this one is a little bit different. Essentially what we're making, I'm calling it strawberry sauce because it's not a jam, which, you know, that uses pectin, it uses thickeners. We're not using those, but it's not a syrup either. Syrup uses a ton of sugar typically, is boiled very hard for a very long time. This doesn't have any thickeners in it. It does have a cup of sugar in it, but when you're considering that you're pairing that with anywhere between 3 to 5 pounds of strawberries, that's not a lot of sugar compared to your jams and jellies. So you are really, really getting the strawberry flavor of this and not just an overwhelming amount of sweetness, which is typical with syrup and jams. And I do highly, highly recommend the pineapple juice. Not only is that helping us with our acidity, but I am telling you, the pineapple is so good. So like I said, a heaping 1/2 cup of sugar for approximately 3 pounds of strawberries. Remember, it is 5 pounds of strawberries, 1 cup of sugar. That's the ratio that we're going to judge by according to how many pounds of strawberries that we have. Get that all good and mixed together, and now we're going to move into the pineapple juice step. I mentioned that if you canned our pineapple zucchini recipe, then this is like a really big shortcut. You can take a jar of your pineapple zucchini and drain off the liquid, because that liquid that we canned the zucchini in already has the pineapple juice and the lemon juice already in the brine. It has a little bit of sugar too, so we are adding a little bit more sugar using it this way. But it's already got the pineapple and the lemon in the right amounts there. So if you don't have pineapple, well, let me back up. If you do have it, I use a 1/2 cup. If, again, 5 pounds of strawberries, you'll use 1 full cup of pineapple juice. Essentially, it's an equal amount of sugar and an equal amount of pineapple juice. So half a cup of pineapple juice, and since it has the lemon juice already in that brine, or not brine, but that juice that we canned our zucchini in, I don't have to add any more. If you don't have that, you'll just do your half a cup of pineapple juice and 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. If you have 5 pounds of strawberries, you'll do 1 cup of pineapple juice and 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. But again, like I said, this is an already highly acidic recipe. So after that, that's it. It's just a 3-ingredient recipe and 4 ingredients if you count the splash of lemon juice, and you just bring that up to boil. This will burn fairly easily, so you'll want to stir it pretty frequently, and bring it up to temperature slowly. So I didn't automatically put it on the highest setting of my stovetop, even though I do need to bring it to a boil. I started it out on kind of low medium and then increased it to high medium, and finally increased it to a little bit more than high medium to really get it going on a boil. Now, some batches of recipes, it kind of depends on how much sugar you have in it. So it's more common if you're doing like 5 pounds of strawberries or even more, if you have a really bulk amount. But the foaming that you see here is going to be more depending on how much sugar you have. So at this point, you could take a spoon and skim off the foam if you wanted to. I chose not to because when I took this off the heat, it wasn't an issue. Once it's boiling, you want to let it boil straight for 5 minutes. And you still want to be stirring that pretty frequently throughout that 5 minutes. After that, that is it. That is all the cooking that we do. So take it off the heat. Go ahead and get your canning equipment ready. I am using my steam canner today. It's really great for small batch projects like this. Really quick, uses so much less water. If you don't have a steam canner, I highly, highly recommend it. I'm not sure how much they are now. When I bought this, it was around $50, so it's not a huge investment. And it is so lightweight and convenient. So what you do is you pour enough water in the bottom section of this steam canner until you get to the point where the water line is even with those little slots that you see here. And I'm about to demonstrate. Like I started pouring it, you can kind of stick your finger in there and you can see I can dip down and I haven't reached the water line yet. So that means I need more water. And you just keep doing that until the water is all the way up to where those slots are. And then what you're going to do is turn your heat on to kind of low medium, just like you would any other canner. You're getting the canner water warm to be able to accept your warmish jars, because we're putting that strawberry sauce in our jars, so it's hot. And just the rule of canning, to avoid temperature shock, you want your hot jars of food going into an already hot canner. So we want to go ahead and get that heated up. Well, then it's just a matter of loading up our jars. So far, I have only canned this in 1/2 pints because the strawberry sauce and the ways that we've used it, which is flavoring yogurt, flavoring oatmeal, drizzling on ice cream, using as a pancake syrup, that's been a big one. Any kind of flavor type additive, but we don't need a whole lot. So I've been doing it in 1/2 pints, and you want to go to the 1/2 inch headspace and then go ahead and go through your process of debubbling and wiping rims and all of that. You can absolutely do this in pint jars as well. You're still going to do it up to 1/2 inch headspace. You would just need to can it longer. But these 1/2 pints don't have to can too long at all. So go ahead and fill up your jars. Don't forget to debubble, wipe your rims, place clean lids and rings on to fingertip tight, and then we'll be back when we're ready to load them up into the canner. To load them up in the steam canner, it is just like a water bath canner. You're just going to put them in a kind of a circular formation, but just know that the water is not going to come up over the jars like it would in a water bath canner. I know that's pretty obvious just based on the design of a steam canner, but I did want to mention it. This does seal using steam instead of boiling water or boiling submerged water. But put that little cap on it, that little top, and then we are going to wait for it to come up to heat. You're going to put it all the way on high and wait until that little needle gauge gets into your safe zone. The safe zone is a shade of green depending on your elevation. So it's going to be different. For me, it's the dark green. The needle is in that dark green, so now I start my time. This recipe needs to steam can or water bath can for 10 minutes. I do want to note that it's the same. Whether you water bath can, whether you steam can, it is still 10 minutes. Of course, that's for my elevation. Check and see if you need to add time for your elevation. When the time is up, I take the lid off the dome and slide it off the heat, but then leave it there for about 10 minutes. You can see it is still extremely hot at that point. We want to let the temperature come down a little bit slowly to avoid thermal shock once again. But that is it, y'all. I think maybe you can see why this is becoming my absolute favorite way to preserve strawberries. I hope you try it. Let me know how you like it. And I hope this was helpful to you. And that is all for today. We will see you next time. Bye.